your best and don't forget where you came from. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And if you lose your way, I hope you find it like Tom Tom. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And if it don't kill it, then it's only gonna make you stronger. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And if you feel what I'm saying, this is your song. Yeah, 'cause my mama made the champion, yeah. And this is champion sound. She was with us now. She would sing, play that champion sound, boy. My mama raised a champion, yeah. And this is champion sound.
A seat, we'll get started. And don't forget where you came from. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And if you lose your way, I hope you find it like Tom Tom. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And if it don't kill it, then it's only gonna make you strong. All right, Steve, are we ready? Well, good morning. My name is Brad Koch, and I want to welcome you all here to the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police and Fire Training Academy for our 7th Command College graduation this morning. Today is a special occasion as we recognize 15 leaders representing 8 different law enforcement agencies from 2 states. Each one of these individuals spent the past 6 months being challenged both professionally and personally. At this time, I would like everyone to please rise for the presentation of colors from our CMPD Honor Guard. Remain standing for the singing of our national anthem by CMPD Officer Marshawn Cook, as well as our invocation from CMPD Chaplain Luke Mabry.
Detail. Help. Post. Colors. Please, and out.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous night o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Order, arch. Lockdown, arch. Ready, turn. Forward, arch. Hey there, right. Hey there, right. Hey there, right. Hey there, right.
Let us pray. Gracious God, we're grateful for the beauty of this day. We're grateful for those men and women in law enforcement, for their willingness to serve the public, for their willingness to go to those places, that line between order and chaos, to occupy that space every day, to keep us safe every day. Lord, we're grateful for their families. We're grateful for their colleagues. We're grateful for all that you have done to make this day possible. Lord, we ask your special blessing upon these graduates as they go back to their communities and serve. Give them the gift of leadership, of servanthood, of wisdom, that they could serve you and that they could serve their communities faithfully. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
All right, please be seated. Before we get started, I'd like to recognize several special guests that we have with us today. We have City Councilman Larkin Eggleston, as well as Police Foundation Director Sarah Pozos here. We also have several heads of different law enforcement agencies from our graduate, from their institutions and their organizations, including the North Carolina Highway Patrol Colonel Freddie Johnson, Gaston Police Chief Travis Britton, ATF Deputy Assistant Director Vincent Pelosi. We also have several previous Command College graduates. As I said, we are in our 7th graduation here, so there have been obviously 6 previous graduations. We have North Carolina Highway Patrol Major Justin Dodson from Class 2, North Carolina Highway Patrol Major Keela Bell from Class 5, Columbia Police Captain Blendowski from Class 4, as well as ATF Assistant Special Agent in Charge of the Charlotte Field Office, Anthony Spotswood, from my graduating class, Class 3. This time I would like the class representative, Lieutenant Chris Rory, to please come up and say a few words. Chris.
Major.
Well, if you came here to see a master of the English language, you're in the wrong building. But I can tell you, I'll do my best and see how it goes. This will be the characterization of what 07 was. First of all, welcome and thank you for coming to the graduating class of 007, CMPD Command College. I'm Lieutenant Christopher Rory, and I'm the class president. When a person's given the title of class president, you know, you think this person is probably going to be extremely squared away. He's going to be extremely intelligent. He's got everything in order and he's unshakable. Well, on the other hand, it could be that you leave the room and you return and you inform your classmates that you need to elect a class president. And they said, we've already made that selection. And you look around and they're looking at you. And then it comes to you and you say, well, let me think, why am I doing this? Why would they elect me? And it comes to things like, you know, you got to make sure that you do all the go for stuff and get that done and make sure everybody's informed. And, you know, you find out you have to give a graduation speech that not one person wants to give. And then you start figuring out, you think about it and go, wait a minute. It's definitely the first reasons I gave you is why. I'm squared away, I'm extremely intelligent, and I'm ready to go. So, I'm very positive in that kind of stuff. Again, thank you to everybody that's come today. I want to thank Chief Jennings for encouraging this class, allowing it to continue. The development of leaders and employees is essential to our organization at CMPD, but it's also important to the profession as a whole. Thank you to the command for ATF, North Carolina Highway Patrol. We appreciate you guys. Boone PD, Gastonia PD, Raleigh, Columbia, South Carolina PD, Charleston, South Carolina PD, and of course our own. By these organizations allowing these individuals to participate in this program, we are building a network of connections that can be used to gather information, increase innovation, cultivate ideas, and in major incidents, when that organization can't handle that by themselves, you've got someone to reach out to. I know for a fact, if I make a phone call to any of these men in this class, they will pick the phone up and they will give me help. I know that. We would like to thank our families for being so supportive while we're in this profession of police work. It's very trying. While we were in command college, I know that people had to travel away from home. And also in our future journeys as we move ahead. Without your support, we couldn't do this every day. Finally, I'd like to thank the instructors, Officer Wayne Embry, Captain Jason Helton, Captain Mike Ford, Captain Ryan Jackson, Lieutenant Joan Gallant, and also all the staff at the Academy. We appreciate the push in PT, morning motivations, the encouragement you gave, the feedback, the knowledge, the lessons learned, and the daily humor. Without your help and guidance, I don't believe we would have been successful as a class. So here's the $1 million question. Well, with today's environment, it might be the $10 million question because of inflation, of course, and the economy. What do these guys learn in 6 months? Well, we learned a lot. We learned that misery loves company. We learned that Wayne, our lead instructor, would take notes of requests when we didn't like particular PT events, and he did not care. We learned that 100-pound logs going up a mountain is really hard. We learned that sandbags are called nuggets in Charlotte. If not, there's a penalty. We learned we may not be as young, fast, strong, or thin as we once were, but we still have something left in the tank to give. We got to keep that junkyard dog attitude. There is a side note I'd like to make on this is Gary Brown, Captain Gary Brown from the Highway Patrol. He may still be in the same shape he was. He's the exception, though. You got to see him run. It's amazing. We learned that no matter who you are and how squared away you appear to be, we're all experiencing the same things. Men in this group experience personal loss, death of family members, death of best friends, death of children of friends, and we're still dealing with that pain. We learned that men in this class have self-doubt, have physical and mental injuries. They both have victories in their personal life and professional life. We've learned that we have introverts. We learned that we have others are extroverts. I learned based on my personality profile that my next career is going to be talk show host. I'm pretty excited about that, so I guess I'm not going to fill out that hire back information, so I'm ready to do that. Give me about 8.5 more years and we'll talk about it. We also found out that we have men of many talents. We have great cooks. We have gardeners. We have a reverend. That's what we finish this thing, higher power. We have a tattoo artist. We have one guy that thinks Fish is the greatest band ever assembled. So let's get down to the nuts and bolts. We learned to be there. You know, we tell our officers that great things happen when you come to work. Or just be there in the right place. I tell my kids that being there for your team, your friends, your family, are as important, or maybe more important, than saying something profound or actually doing anything at all. Being there for your spouse, being present for disappointment, celebration, tragedy, it strengthens these relationships. As leaders, we have to be there for our employees. We have to be present at work. We have to be present when they're discouraged. We need to be present during their success and their disappointment. We have to be there physically, mentally, and emotionally for them. Something else we learned. We learned to be optimistic. I've been told by several coworkers that I'm the most optimistic person in the whole department. Not only at work, but my kids get annoyed at me because I tell them to stay positive and believe in a positive outcome even when the odds are against you. But I believe this was pushed down to me by my folks, who, by the way, are celebrating 51 years married, which is an accomplishment in itself. And through their leadership, and through this leadership course, we studied how having an optimistic mindset can help with work, can help with relationships, marriages, raising children, mental health, physical health. Is contagious. It spreads throughout this organization, and we need this more today than ever. We learn to be authentic, and we learn to be accountable. During classroom sessions, ride-alongs, site visits, and etc., the main theme I noticed was that employees want supervisors to be authentic and want them to be accountable with no excuses. You need to be who you are. If you make a mistake, be accountable for it and learn from it and move forward. If a difficult decision has to be made, be authentic with that response to those questions about it and be accountable to the aftermath. The profession is hard and under pressure every day. We have to be authentic in our actions and accountable to everyone from citizens to our employees. We've also learned to put in the hard work, and we put some hard work in during this time. Many, many times during the difficult workout sessions, defensive tactics, getting back to basics, several of us looked at each other and said, we signed up for this. The work was hard, but good leaders can't be afraid of hard work and have to be willing to put the work in. Respected leaders garner respect when others see them completing hard work side by side with them. And also great leaders appreciate hard work getting done because they can relate on how hard it is. Now here comes everybody's favorite part, in closing. I don't have enough time to tell everyone what we learned, and I'm not sure I can put into words what we learned. But I hope you caught a glimpse of what this Command College thing is all about. It's about bringing together different perspectives, different experiences, different points of life, different knowledge bases, and different people in order to make good leaders better leaders and to make great leaders exceptional leaders. I don't know where I fall on the scale of good or great leader, but what I do know is I'm better than when I started. Congratulations to the Command College 007. I know we will cross paths again, and I look forward to what the future holds for each and every one of us. Thank you, and God bless.
Command College 007. Love it. All right, this time I would like to ask one of our deputy chiefs, and I believe a graduate of our first Command College, Deputy Chief Kurt Voorhees, to the stage to introduce our guest speaker today. Chief Voorhees.
Chris, I've heard a lot of class president speeches. That was one of the best I've ever heard. I appreciate it. I think Class 007 did you a good service by nominating you to be the president. I'm glad you were absent when they decided that. Worked out. It's my privilege to be the executive sponsor of the Command College, and it's my privilege today to introduce to you our speaker, Mike Adams. Mike started with the Charlotte Police Department in May of 1990. He did 30 years with CMPD, served many roles during his journey there. Some of the significant accomplishments, he led our efforts to plan and implement the Democratic National Convention in 2012. After he retired, he came back and served in that capacity again in planning and helping execute that for Chief Jennings as a special assistant, and Chief Putney, I should say, and helped us organize that event as well. Mike graduated from UNCC with a degree in criminal justice. He went to the FBI National Academy in 1999 and graduated from class 196 there. He went to the Police Executive Research Forum, Senior Management Institute of Police, and then got involved in leadership with the state chapter of the FBI National Academy Associates, and served in various leadership roles up to the term of president, so he's very well connected in the state of North Carolina and beyond in law enforcement circles. The reason he holds special significance to be the speaker today is because I went through Class 001, and the curriculum there was brand new, and Mike played an extremely important role in developing the curriculum and having relationships with people that made all of that happen. So we're grateful to him for that. Upon retirement, he's worked in several roles. Currently, he's the Senior Director of Enterprise Security for Coca-Cola Consolidated in Charlotte. He understands the values of relationships in law enforcement, and I'm looking forward to hearing his words today. Mike?
Well, what a great day to be back here at CMPD. As I was sitting down and listening to Lieutenant Rory, I was trying to think, how am I going to follow that? And I would probably be smart just to drop the mic and walk off. He did such a phenomenal job at that, and it's really interesting how he put what this command college is all about, put it into perspective, really pointed out a lot of the key people that are sitting in this room today that have been through it or helped put it on. So thank you for those words and the motivation that you gave out of that. I stand here today before such a distinguished group of people, professionals, family, and friends. As Chief Voorhees said, I retired just over 3 years ago, and it's amazing how fast time goes by. But standing before you today, it reminds me how blessed I am to be a part of the greatest profession in this world. I want to begin by expressing my appreciation, as I said, for Deputy Chief Voorhees, Chief Jennings, for the kind remarks and allowing me to be a part of this journey with you all here today. I know it's not been easy, but if everyone could do it, it wouldn't be as meaningful. The journeys in your career all have a purpose, and it takes sacrifices from you, your family, and your organization to allow you the opportunity to be here and do this endeavor. So I want to take a few minutes to share with you how this program got started. Lieutenant Rory talked to you a little bit about what they did within the program, but I want to tell you a little bit about why it got started and where the need was seen throughout this organization, but also throughout the region and the states that surround it. I've come to realize that you can make a difference in your career, and you also can be rest assured this team knows how hard you have worked and the sacrifice you have made and the sense of accomplishment you should feel today. For family, friends, and some of the professionals and police executives here, I want to share some background. The CMPD Command College was created in 2016 after an internal assessment on how to develop leaders at the command level. So they've prepared to navigate the many challenges they would face over the next 5 to 10 years. Although I'm confident to stand here today to tell you that many of the issues that we were talking and thinking about 5 and 6 years ago are more complex than we ever anticipated. Throughout the country, there are several highly regarded schools which focus on command level training. However, there's a lot more need than there are spaces, money, and the ability for people to be away for an extended period of time. So CMPD leadership wanted to host a class which incorporated the best parts of these schools: academics, physical fitness, and building professional relationships. But to be successful and sustainable, it had to focus on complex contemporary challenges through innovative techniques, superior education and research, and grow a professional network of partnerships to collectively engage the most complex problems facing our communities today. And to do this, it had to integrate other state, local, and federal partners. So the men and women here today were chosen and challenged to lead their organizations into the future. So to the graduates, several months ago you arrived here not sure what to expect, likely asking yourself some of these questions, silently of course. How will I compare against my classmates? Will I really learn anything? We've all shown up to in-service classes and we're like, what are we going to take away from this? Am I going to be a waste of time, or I'm going to leave out here feeling enriched? Am I physically fit at this point in my career to do this? We'll ask also Embry about that. We all know you ask how much homework will I have, and maybe even thinking, I've got to check this box to get promoted. I don't know which it may have been for you personally, but I can assure you previous class members had some of the same thoughts in the beginning. However, after completing the academic requirements, the physical fitness sessions, group projects, and the capstone event, which I understand went very well this week, you know how you fit in, you know how physically fit you are, and how committed you had to be to accomplish it. It was not designed to be easy or convenient. But I assure you, without this level of collaboration and engagement, these classes would not have created the friendships and partnerships you leave here with today. Therefore, I want you to cultivate these skills you learned during this course to make the impact, be a better leader, change the profession, and leave a legacy. So how do you do this? Let me share a few things I found to be most helpful over the years. Now, for those that know me may wonder how I finally figured this out after 30 years. Well, it's like getting to the end of your career and saying, I wish I could start it all over knowing what I do today. So here we go. These are not intended to give you all the answers, but to provide you with key points on how to survive this career and make an impact on those around you. The things I talk about today are close to my heart because I can assure you, with passing time, a little more wisdom, and sitting on the other side of the thin blue line, I truly believe these are vital to be successful as a police leader. The tasks are important, but not the most. The people around you and in front of you are who really matter. So let's talk about what these 6 steps are. First, build relationships. To build relationships, you must build trust with your colleagues and the people you serve. It doesn't matter what position you're occupying right now. There's a community, a team, and a family you're accountable to. Be transparent and honest, even if it makes you look bad. People will see you are willing to be truthful, even when not in the most favorable position for you. In return, they will trust you and relationships will grow. Be approachable and offer support. It's easy to sit back and not get involved, especially if it's not what you enjoy doing. If approachable and one known to support others, your relationships will grow. Number 2, think globally. Look at issues from a broad perspective, seek to understand how they impact others, and know the potential opportunities and pitfalls. Understand the community, government, and business impact your decisions have. Most issues are broader than they seem and impact more than your agency. Engage internal and external partners to achieve results which are sustainable over time. So many things we try to resolve quickly so we can get to the next task on our list. I did that a lot in my career, I can say. Slow down, engage the process, and seek the solution that is the most impactful and long-lasting. Number 3, embrace opportunities to develop yourself and others. The most comfortable assignment and the one you know well may not be where the organization needs you. Trust others to see your strengths and be willing to embrace those opportunities when presented. Police work is a business. To be a successful leader, You need to learn how the business operates within your governmental structure. There are a lot of moving parts that support the men and women who do the work each day. The better you understand it, the better you can leverage the resources to help them be successful. Create opportunities for your teams to engage in meaningful work outside of your organization. This command college is an example of that. There are so many people to learn from, and you will find the most impactful ones will be in places you never expected. CMPD and your agency have invested a lot of time and money to develop an experience you will hopefully remember for a lifetime. So continue to develop yourself and make sure you take others along with you. Be a positive voice of change. The people you lead will mirror the message you send. A few years ago, I was talking with an now retired major, and we were discussing how to communicate change in an organization. And those that have been in the business a while know how well that goes over. Not always real well. But how do we communicate it? How do we buy in? So he was a former K-9 handler and provided an analogy about a K-9 lead or leash line that has stuck with me for years. He said, I was in training and I was asking my dog to take me into very dangerous situations and places. If I expected him to perform at his best, I had to be at my best. So his analogy was, everything runs down lead. So if you want your team to be a positive voice and embrace change, be a good lead. Number 5, be kind, be grateful, and be inclusive. I came up with this a few years ago on my own while talking with my kids about how to interact with friends, classmates, and others they encounter. It's not always easy to integrate into a group or let others into yours. You experienced that 6 months ago coming into this class. However, being kind is a choice. Regardless of the circumstances, you dictate how you respond. It is much easier to take a breath and measure your words and actions than to clean up the mess later. Be grateful for the opportunities to lead and serve others. Be a leader in this profession presents opportunities and challenges. Be grateful for what each brings to the table. Be inclusive. There are many people around you that would like to learn and grow their careers. Include them in your conversations and experiences. Most of what we meet and talk about, it may be sensitive, but it's not secretive. So include them. You will be amazed at how those experiences will provide them confidence to handle the next challenge. So be kind, be grateful, and be inclusive. And number 6, and the last one, just have fun. This career has so many built-in stressors which will impact you for years to come. Don't let those define how you live your life. Make a difference, laugh at yourself, and find time to enjoy family and friends. So in closing, thank you for your commitment to this endeavor. You have accomplished what only 6 other classes have. If you truly committed yourself, your communities will be a better place with you leading them. God bless and be safe. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mike. I personally can attest and stand here on the shoulders of your leadership, your mentorship, and thank you for pouring into future leaders of our organization as we continue to grow and expand. At this time, I would like our Deputy Chief, Kurt Voorhees, to return back to stage, as well as Captain Mike Ford, and we will get on with the actual graduation here. So our first graduate is ATF Group Supervisor Christian Annison. Supervisor Anderson has worked for the ATF for the past 8 years and is currently assigned the supervisor for the Violent Crime Task Force here in Charlotte. Next up is Captain Gary Brown. Captain Brown has worked for the North Carolina State Highway Patrol for the past 24 years and currently supervises the field operations out of Raleigh, North Carolina. Lieutenant Brian Crum. Lieutenant Crum has worked for the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department for the past 16 years. Currently works in the Violent Crime Division where he supervises the homicide, missing persons, and robbery units. Lieutenant Timothy Dasher. Lieutenant Dasher has worked for the Charleston Police Department for the past 22 years and is currently a lieutenant in patrol in the downtown Charleston area. Captain Daniel Duckworth. Captain Duckworth has worked for the Boone Police Department for the past 14 years, and he currently oversees the Patrol Services Bureau. The sharp dressers up in Boone there. Next up, Lieutenant Stephen Fishback. Lieutenant Fishback has worked for the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department for the past 20 years and currently oversees the Public Affairs Unit. Lieutenant Matt Horner. Lieutenant Horner has worked for the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department for the past 14 years. He's currently assigned to the Freedom Division where he oversees patrol operations. Captain Brent Howard. Captain Howard has worked for the Raleigh Police Department for the past 24 years, and Captain Howard is currently assigned as the district captain in the Southwest District. Lieutenant Richard Nelson. Lieutenant Nelson has worked for the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department for the past 18 years. He is currently assigned to the Metro Division where he oversees special operations. Lieutenant Chris Rory. Lieutenant Rory has worked for the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department for the past 14 years. He's currently assigned to the University City Division where he supervises special operations. You can't have my job though, Chris. Next up, Lieutenant Jackson Sheard. Lieutenant Sheard has worked for the Columbia Police Department for the past 25 years, and he currently oversees professional standards. You got to take that with you. Lieutenant Rob Sprague. Lieutenant Sprague has worked for the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department for the past 24 years. He's currently the executive officer to the deputy chief over the Investigative Services Group. Lieutenant Brent Wally. Lieutenant Wally has worked for the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department for the past 14 years. Currently works in the Special Events Division where he oversees the Transportation Unit. Lieutenant Jesse Wood. Lieutenant Wood has worked for the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department for the past 24 years, is currently assigned to the Westover Division where he oversees patrol operations. And our final 007 Command College graduate is Captain Aaron Worster. Captain Worster has worked for the Gastonia Police Department for the past 24 years and is currently assigned as a district commander in the Central District. This time, if our 15 Command College graduates could please stand, we will once again recognize this outstanding achievement. As Major Adams mentioned, this program was facilitated and instituted in 2016. Now, before today, 83 leaders have graduated from this prestigious program from a multitude of different departments throughout the Southeast. The program was created to develop leaders and prepare them for complex contemporary challenges through innovative techniques, superior education, research, and most importantly, a network of professional partnerships. The program identifies emerging leaders from the rank of lieutenant and captain, and there is a competitive application process to be considered to have one of those coveted seats. Graduates in the 6 previous classes continue to be promoted to higher ranks within their respective departments, and I'm confident that this group of 15 will continue to rise higher. John Maxwell is a best-selling author and speaker who has written many books, primarily focusing on leadership. One of his books is called The 360-Degree Leader. In it, he talks about developing your influence, not based on your title, but how you motivate and affect the individuals around you. Wherever you are in an organization, you must learn to lead up, lead across, and lead down. The number one misconception people have about leadership is they believe that leadership comes from having a position or a title. Now, this position myth that you can't lead if you're not at the top couldn't be further from the truth. The erroneous thinking of this myth is that leadership is position and not influence. When potential leaders understand the dynamics of gaining influence with people, they come to realize that position has little to do with genuine leadership. You can lead others from anywhere in the organization, and when you do, you make the organization better. The bottom line is this: leadership is a choice you make, not a place you sit. Anyone can choose to become a leader wherever he or she is, and you can make a difference no matter where you are. As our newest Command College graduates, you are intimately familiar with the importance of taking care of each other and leading from where you are. One of the basic tenets of Command College is that the team can always go further than any one individual can go by themselves. Make sure you always take care of your team. I want to thank you very much for joining us here in person as well as online. Know that starting on Monday, we start the National Police Week recognition for the week. On Wednesday, if you want to tune in at 10 a.m. the same time, we will have our annual award ceremony where we recognize the extraordinary work done over the last year by members of the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department. And then on Friday, we have the Peace Memorial Service where we recognize officers that made that ultimate sacrifice in Mecklenburg County here. So with that, I want to thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you have a great day. Be blessed.